Hi guys. Welcome. Ha, being a bit serious, aren't I? Come here, Winston. He's a little bit far away, wasn't he? Alright, let me put it in the sit-up position. Beep. Because I'm sinking into... It's a pressure care mattress that are sinking into sinking sand. What do they used to call it? Quicksand! Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to yell. It's alright. Probably Matt's going to be going, what? Anyway. Now that my day's come to an end, and I do my best to be a useful human. Isn't disability fun? Everyone else has a job. I feel very left out. Anyway, yes, I know some people, I get it. Going to work sucks, but it's a privilege that some of us don't get. Anyway, I want to talk about Christmas from a very different angle because it makes me sad. Now, my angle's a bit biased. My kids are grown up. I didn't have it as hard as things are now to raise a family, although I had my own kind of hard, but there's things that are harder now for young families that I didn't face, but I had hard times, yes, and I had challenges. So I think the struggle is real for everyone. And then when I think back to my childhood, it was a mixture of things, a lot of privilege and a lot of struggle. It was complete polar opposites in one life. Very weird life I have had. Anyway. So basically, I want to talk about Christmas. And I want to share first, because I think like that's a good base. I'd like to share a daily devotional, because ignore if you don't want, or just see it for like poetry. It's wisdom. It's valuable. I mean, for me, I find it valuable. Everything that's in the Bible has helped my life. I just don't know where I'd be without it. Every single hard struggle I've had in my life, the bubble, yeah, it is a bit of bubble. The Bible has helped me. Anyway, I'm just going to read it. Ignore this bit if you don't want this, and I'll be moving on to what, if I can manage to put my glasses on. Oh my goodness, I should get my googly eye glasses. Alright, November 27. That's what it is today, so let's go with the date. It's apparently what we're supposed to do. I should just do random. No, I'm not going to. Lamb of God. The next day John saw Jesus coming toward him and said, "Look, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world." Sounds too easy, John. Come on. Be honest now. Sorry. I wanted to be a minister. Apparently it's a man's world. Anyway, won't go there. But I'd be good, right? Anyway, I'd probably be very naughty. When we step into the holy presence of God, our sin becomes obvious. It's kind of true. Does anyone go into prayer and go, "Oh, I know, Jesus, I know. I know you saw me do that. I know you heard me say that." Anyway, the ADHD. Okay. We feel the separation and shame that our mistakes have built. There's a reason for shame. It's not always bad. It's something we have to experience to learn. There is nothing we can do to eliminate our sin and restore our connection to the living God. We need a solution, and we have none. When Adam and Eve sinned and discovered their nakedness, God killed a young lamb and clothed them with it. In this action, God set the monumental precedent that the blood of an innocent lamb covers sin. The blood of the Lamb, Jesus Christ, would be shed on the cross centuries later to cover the sin of all mankind. Jesus, your saving work on the cross is truly a magnificent... Speech problems today. Whew. a magnificent thing to think about. I'm in awe of how you've created a plan to redeem humanity from sin. I thank you for taking the sin of the world away, and in that you have redeemed me. The next day he saw Jesus coming toward him and declared, here is the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. Nothing is hidden from God's sight. He knows your sin. He knows your shame. He knows your predicament. But he made the sacrifice necessitated by your sin. Jesus shed his own blood, and that covers your sin. All your shame, all your errors, all your unworthiness is erased by the work of Christ already did. Rest in his unfailing love for you and in his power to take away your sin. Wow. This is, you know what, if you really sit with those words for a long time, this was written a long time ago. You can't deny the power. Thank you, Jesus Christ, for the power of the cross. Thank you that it changed the course of history and that now be declared free from the power of sin. As I go to sleep tonight, I pray I will dwell on my forgiveness and freedom in your name. What do you marvel at most about the cross? Thank Jesus for this. Wow. The cross just, for me, represents sacrifice. Shut up. Okay, technology just ruins the moment. Represents, for me, the cross just is sacrifice. That's what he wants from us. He wants us to love others as thyself. And if you are a mother or a father and you've held your child, you need to remember that love and try and give a type of love to everyone you encounter. And compassion. And that's even the difficult ones. That's the hardest thing to do, but it's all inclusive. You can't pick and choose. Do you want to be picked and choosed? Do you want to be told, not you? You can't pick and choose. Yet, what are we seeing the most in the world? People picking and choosing. My medical care? Not for you. Why? Because I'm rare. Right? We all have experienced not receiving. So please give. And on this topic, I was watching something today about giving, and it's something that I did with my kids. It's something that I've just done just on my own when I've been shopping, because I'm like, I was that poor kid many times. I'm just going to go, yep, take that. You know, like, okay, so in America, and it's on the TikToks apparently, but I don't like TikTok. I think it's toxic. I'm sorry, but I do. I love the comedy, but I think it's toxic. But basically, I saw that America does a wish tree. That's angeltree. You buy a gift for a poor child that won't receive a gift because their parents are under, or parent is under so much financial strain. So we have the same thing here, normally probably done by the Salvation Army as well, where we would pick up a tag, and I've done it with my kids, I've done it on my own, I've done it at churches, I have done it as a welfare worker, even for free, just working there at Christmas, helping put together bundles of stuff and handing out the bundles of stuff. So I spend a lot of my time doing stuff like that. And I remember my boss saying to me, because he knew that I kind of was from privilege, and I must have had a look of me, right? I'm autistic. I would have been unaware. I was just standing in the hallway of the community centre, and he was in his office, and he's like, you're learning a lot, aren't you? And this is when I became paid there, not a student, right? I'd well and truly done my hours. They couldn't get rid of me, so they just hired me. It's a long story. And I was like, you don't need to pay me. He's like, no, we do. You're going to get paid. Why would you not want to get paid? I'm like, I take after my grandfather. Anyway, beside the point, I did need the money too. I was only like 22, 3. I was a baby. Anyway, I was a mum, so I was very mature. I was more mature then than I am now. Anyway, and I looked at him and I was like, yeah. I worked in a area of the cycle of poverty for generations after generation after generation. And every Christmas I'm grateful just for the meal that people can't afford. Because I've given out tins of baked beans to people to have for Christmas. So please, Australians, don't think that it's not here, that type of poverty, okay? Because it is. So when someone wants something, it's, but I want this and it's, $1,000. This maybe is a story you can share with your children, that some families, due to how they are, just the family they're born into, okay? We are born, you cannot say, and we all know it if you've studied sociology. I'm getting angry now. If you've studied sociology, we all know it's most common that your parents determine your future. Yes, they do. Your postcode, they say in America, determines your future. It's true. Fact. Let's all stop freaking lying about it. There's the rare situations where someone gets plucked. You're famous, but you wouldn't want to be that. And you know that now, right? I learned that in dancing very quickly. That the industry is not nice. And I also learned very quickly that these families are not self-inflicted poor. I'm sorry. I think that people are just ignorant to say that they need to work harder, try harder, do better. Don't, please. Anyway, it's disgusting attitude. Stop judging how they are there. But the fact is, this is one thing I believe deeply, and I know most people will agree with me. Christmas, in the sense of like presents, is children. It's about the children. Us adults, we don't need parents. Yeah, we don't need parents as adults, actually. That's kind of true. Anyway. Apparently I didn't need a parent as a kid, but anyway, we won't go there. I've got no issues. Anyway, I had they weren't great-grandparents, but I did have great-grandparents as well. I knew them too. We're all very young in my family. Gosh, that's kind of weird, isn't it? We were all... Yes, I met most of my great-grandparents. It's amazing, my brother and I, and my specific family. But anyway, we were all very young mums. But, it's magical for children. We don't need that magic. We have everything we've ever desired. Or if you do know an adult at Christmas who doesn't have anything, they deserve things. Yeah, there is adults that have nothing. Give them something. It's just driving me crazy, the haves and have-nots. It's actually upsetting. We have to prioritize, just like in the war times. We need to grow up. We need to realize what's important. Having the next generation have a magical world of childhood. That's why I'm so glad in Australia that they've been taken off social media. That is just the best thing ever for a child. And they also need magical Christmases. So please, if you can, donate to these Christmas tree things. Or if you know a family, that's the better way. I like it that way. When you know of someone and you just know what you can get them and you just go, just take it, shut up. That's what I normally do. Yeah, I'm a bit bossy, but like, just do it. Just help someone else out. Including an adult that has nothing. Because everyone deserves a magical Christmas that hasn't had that. And that involves children, and it might involve some adults. And the rest of us don't. But let's just talk about the most important thing about Christmas, which is it's not about presents at all. It never used to be like that. And I remember my grandfather's rule was this. When he saw the family evolve, I guess, and the adults buying each other things, and he was like, no, adults do not get presents that children do. And he was, you know, always the one to get up and play Santa, because he wanted a magical Christmas for everyone. The kids, as in. And when I think back to that sparkle in his eye at all of us kids, me and my cousins, so excited, sitting there waiting for our names to be called, and especially with my cousin, because his name's Dylan and mine's Dyan, and it's spelt the same, without, mine's just without the L, and we're both going, hang on, swap, I think Pa's blind. Anyway, it was funny, but basically I remember that. That's for children. And otherwise Christmas is, and as I got older, my grandfather would also say, because my other grandfather did not become a believer until 6 months before he passed away, and whereas this grandfather was a believer, and he said, you know, it's Jesus' birthday, this is what we're meant to focus on. It's about being together as a family. And that stuck with me forever. And so if I was ever with my family, it was Christmas. If I wasn't with my family, it doesn't feel like Christmas. I don't celebrate. I won't be celebrating this Christmas because I don't have my family. It's not Christmas. Because it's not about presents. You know, no present can make up for the love that I would love to experience, just a hug from my son on Christmas. That's all I would expect. So, and I think that a lot of us adults are caught up in, we think that's love to our children. If I buy more presents than the norm, I'm more loving. That's the TV talking. That's the programming. And so I just want people to just try some different things. I know that we can't get the children to step back from the world and be different to all their friends. That's impossible. Like, we have to know reality, and then the ideal of what we want and reality, and somewhere in the middle is the right thing to do. But all I want people to do is think about things. If you're having a roast dinner, you are blessed right now in the world. People are living in amongst war. If your child gets a present that they go, I really wanted that, that is great. Because we're in a world right now where there are kids, they don't care about presents. They've lost parents from war. It's perspective. And a child is never too young to learn that. I know, coming from a family on one side, well, I know the other side too, because I'll explain that in a minute, but my immigrant side, I was the second born Australian from that family, and they're moving from South Africa, completely different world, very dangerous place. And I was told, you're so lucky, you're so safe, and great healthcare, great education, everything's safe. I need to have words, Pa. It's kind of changed. And he's up there in heaven going, I'll see you soon. Not good enough. Anyway, that's just a new family joke. I didn't ask for you to join in, Google. Google's trying to get in on the conversation. Anyway, so and then of course, my family's been in World War II, where prison camps and everything. Okay, like I know a lot. And so I've never really, and then in my work, when I look back, what I experienced doing social welfare at such a young age, coming from such privilege. Yeah, I grew up as in a single mum household, but I did not grow up in poor suburbs. I did not know it existed like that. I didn't know. Because my single mum was supported by family. She did things on her own, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying, like, it's different when you come from privilege. It's different. It's different. You get assistance compared to poverty families who their parents are poor and their parents are poor, and that's how it goes. That's what it's like. So it's not all the same. Not every single parent family is the same. Fact. It depends. Some single mums, if they're a lawyer, they're not going to be the same as a single mum who is cleaning houses, for goodness sake. They're not going to be earning the same money as that single mum. So we do have to put it in perspective. But I'm just saying, like, we've really lost our way completely. And when I saw the TikTok drama about this angel tree, and you should have the grateful beggars shouldn't be choosers, and it's like, yeah, but you know what? I'm watching some of these videos and I'm critically analysing as if I'm doing like we used to do a lot in psychology. We have to do a critique of some studies or whatever for psychology. And I'm looking at all these people and I'm like, so you're picking on this parent for saying this child got this present that's not the right brand, because all the other kids are going to have the right brand, because who created that? We all created that. We're the assholes that made these young ones suffer that, because we have not rebelled against labels and, oh, it's not the right label, it's not cool then. We've created that, guys. We have. These children don't understand. And to blame the parents for feeling like, gosh, you know, and some of them were saying, you know, like, you shouldn't have done the tree if you couldn't do the wish list properly. And it's complex. But the fact is, what I found hypocritical, this is the only point I want to make. I don't even care about what the right and wrong answer on. It's too messy. I don't think you can have a black and white answer on that. But what I will say is I found it so pathetic watching people with Adidas hats going, well, the child should have just accepted it for what it was, even though it wasn't the real brand. Then why'd you buy Adidas as a hat? Because I get mine from Kmart for $5. Because I'm not stupid. I'm being judgy. But so is that person. Do you see what I'm saying? We're all judgy sometimes. But some can go too far. And what I'm saying is these kids do deserve to be made to smile. If that means they need the brand, I'd buy it for them. Just saying. Because some of us adults have way too much. We need to give to children. So if you have a tree near you, you have a donation thing near you, we all can do it. Because you know why? None of us adults need any more. But these kids do. And yes, within reason. Don't spoil kids. It doesn't make them nice. Okay? And tell them to be grateful. Teach them to be grateful. Not just at Christmas, but all year round. But I'm just saying, like, you've really got to get behind what does a present mean. I don't know, have a chat to your children. What do presents mean to you? You have to get them to understand that a present should never be expected. It's the thought that counts. And I'll tell you what, as someone in middle age who misses my adult kids, who would probably cry for hours after an email, if I got an email just saying, I love you, Mum, I'd be crying. Guys, the thought is all that counts in life. And that's what you want to teach your child. And gifts is about the thought that counts. So yes, there's that education to behind presence. And also, because we do have to have children, allow them to be spoiled, but make sure you balance it out with the teachings, the understanding of, gee, uncle and auntie so-and-so bought you that. Go say thank you. That is amazing. Now, it doesn't mean you can get your kids to behave the way you want. And no family member should judge you for that too, because your kids are going to be who they are at each stage of their life. Every year they are different because they're growing. I mean, they are evolving. But basically, presents are really only for children. And I just think that I just want people to consider the thought of saying, I don't want a present, but I want to see the kids. If you've got kids in your sphere each Christmas, or if you just donate to these trees or to charities to make sure that those families can provide that for their kids, that is where our focus should be, is making it magical for children, because that's what it's for. The rest of us should be just grateful that, oh, it's the end of the year, it's the wind up, let's look at what was good about the year, what was bad about the year, what do we want to improve, and celebrate. If you're religious too, it gives you a chance to focus on the real reason for Christmas. And that real reason for Christmas, if you're a Christian, as you know, is so joyous. I wouldn't give it up. But anyway, it's a personal choice. But I think that a lot of us adults need to stop acting like presents are a thing for us. I think we've lost our way. I think we need to go back to, it's about the kids. And also, parents, join together against corporate. Don't buy into things that put you under financial pressure. And stick together on that, because none of you deserve to work your butts off. Because trust me, when they get to adults and they go, you sucked at that and that. Oh no, but this was great. You're going to get a mixed report card. Like, you're going to get, like, I mean, so long as you haven't, like, mistreated your kids, they're going to love you. But that's not what they're going to focus on, trust me. They're not going to say, well, you know, it was shit because I didn't get the real monster truck. I got the fake one. They're not. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to remember how you treated them, how you loved them, how you paid attention to them all year round, not just at Christmas, all year round. So there's that as well. But I'm sick and tired of the haves going, oh, stop complaining, have-nots. Let me just start with this. I know wealth. I've lived in it. I know it well. My family worships it. But basically, I'll tell you this. If you want it for your child, why don't these parents have the right to want it for their child? It's not for them, it's for their child. And if you think that people get what they deserve in life all the time, and you just have to work harder, try more, then you are delusional. And you have the problem. You are absolutely out of touch. You are absolutely so not compassionate, very ungrateful for obviously the gifts that you've been given, because obviously you're doing better, maybe with health, job, whatever is around you that's giving you these opportunities. Maybe where you live, it's easy to buy a house or it's easy to buy cars, I don't know. But the fact is, stop treating the have-nots who still work probably just as hard as you, even though their title might be different, enough. I don't think this angel tree thing has a fair argument. If you're in a position to give a child the blessing of their dreams come true that Christmas, but you're going to say, oh, I'll just get the cheap brand. You are an asshole, actually. I think you are. And I know you're thinking, but that's so hypocritical for a Christian. No. A child has been raised by this stupid world to want that. Just like the other kids, just like your kids. And don't they deserve it? Yes, they do. All children deserve the same. Why are other children unworthy? If you saw a child struggling with cancer and you saw that family, you'd be giving. And it's the same thing with this. Just because it's something positive and it's not a essential, but you're making a child's Christmas magical. Does that not make you feel like you're actually getting more of a gift out of that, actually, personally? Because I tell you what, those kids have nothing. The rich kids who get those things anyway have lots. Just think about that. Please give some presents to other kids if you're in that position to do so. Please don't do it if you are not in a position to do so, because I know a lot of us that are not in the position can get really caught up in that. Just, being there a little bit myself, but take after my grandfather, what can I say? But my other grandfather was the same. He was a very wealthy man, self-made millionaire, but he grew up poor. That's why he became rich, because he worked hard as an accountant with business and he made it. But he said every day and every time it was like, oh, here's a fizzy drink, enjoy whatever. Isn't this, amazing that you have this? When I was a kid, I never had that, we are so blessed. And I always knew it. I always knew it. It was never taken for granted. And there's a difference. So I'm not saying people with money are all assholes. I'm just saying some are, some aren't. And it's the same with any category. But it's about appreciation. It's about understanding that there are others that don't have what some of us have. And you can blame them all you like, but I really want you to understand that I've worked in it. I've studied this. Your assumptions are wrong. Your judgments are going to be wrong if you were put in the positions that I've been. You don't understand, and I want you just to trust that. And I want you to reach out into your pocket, give up your Christmas present as an adult and give it to a child. Because that family can have an amazing, magical Christmas. That's what Christmas is about. We want our kids to grow up having a childhood, because haven't we destroyed it enough? And I know that us Christians are the only ones that live this way of we should be doing better, or we're not doing the right thing. And I'm not saying non-Christians don't do the same thing. There's a lot of atheists that go, yeah, I want this too for kids or whatever. I'm just saying, we need to be the change in the world we want to see. We've got to do it to make it cool, kind of. So if I can make this cool, if you can go somewhere and buy presents and put them under a tree, make sure it's a reputable charity, not one that just takes it and just does something dodgy with it, with the money. Make sure it gets to the children, families, whatever. But don't judge the ones that... I saw someone being judged on TikTok for only getting, for 3 children, a basketball, a couple of, a little floppy material book, and a clothing item and another item. And I was like, you really think in 2025 that is a Christmas present that lights up a child that sees every other child on TV and watches every other child around them, unless they are in a poor area where they probably will be in the same situation? I just want you to rethink that a little bit. These are children we're talking about. And parents don't fail on purpose. Yes, we do have some that do. Okay, sure. We've always got those percentages. But seriously, most are doing their best. And these kids deserve it. Just help them out. It goes to the children. You're literally buying the toys, giving it to these places. And they go to these children. And they do deserve it. Give them a magical Christmas. And stop judging if you are well off at them going, gosh, this isn't enough. I don't know how to say it, but children don't understand. Has anyone done child development in high school or anything? They don't understand why someone else gets these presents, but they don't. Same Santa. They don't understand. Why don't people get that? Why don't you understand that that parent is thinking, you know where their anger's really at? This is the sad thing. Self-hatred. Because they feel like they can't provide for their children. And they don't choose that. They don't choose that, guys. They don't choose that. You're just coming from a place of privilege, whether it's education, knowledge, environment, supports. You're just coming from a narrow view. End of story. And I'm not talking about extreme circumstances here of like drug families or, you know, I'm not talking about those extreme cases. I'm talking about normal, poor families that are just struggling. Single mums or low-income families. I don't care. They are struggling. They deserve it. Stop being mean to them. Oh, if it's not good enough, I'm not going to donate. I say, no, if you're going to do it properly. Don't disappoint the children. Are you serious? Do you remember being a child and wanting Barbie peaches and cream? I never got her. But I got over it. Barbie's peaches and cream. The lady next door, the girl next door got it. I didn't. She showed me it. I was like, it's nice. You're lucky. Okay, I gotta go now. I don't know how I got it. No, I played dolls with her. I played Barbies with her. I was 10, but I'm just saying, right? She got like everything. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, autistic, but I got a bouncy ball that you sit on and jump on. Best thing ever, by the way, if you're autistic. Bit of a Miranda Hart I am. But anyway, but she got like the Barbie's doll's house. She got lots of Barbies, including peaches and cream. And then she got clothes. And then she got hair stuff. And I was like, what? But look, when I went to my grandparents, see, because my other grandparents were religious. You don't overindulge. And I do agree. And then my other grandparents, because they both grew up poor, they wanted to give us a lot. And we did receive a lot, but because we weren't blessed, I mean, most of my life, it was a mattress on the floor. I didn't have a pretty pink room. A mattress on the floor, sleeping bag, shoebox of things I could collect that I liked. I didn't have anything. And I still would judge. No, I don't want the Flower Patch doll. I want the Cabbage Patch doll. I rejected her. How old? 11? So, stop judging these children. Are you kidding me? Their brains haven't developed. Like, give them a break. They're children. Can we please give back children their childhood? In every way, not just social media. I want you to make sure that everyone is just, give these children their childhood. Because life is going to be brutal when they get older. The way the government's going. It's just, give to people that don't have. Even if you can only cover one child. then that's it. Or a baby, right? Anything that's in your budget for these families would make the world a difference. And I want rich people to stop, like, I know they probably won't, because these days the rich are just a little bit boasty, aren't they? Not all. But it makes me sad that there's so many families that cannot provide, and their children don't understand, guys. And you don't understand that. I remember when in my job, probably the hardest thing I did, because I was a mother of like a 1 and 3-year-old, and I'm like, I had this mum, she goes, the kid's about 11, 12, tell her it's important to go to school. And I'm like, oh shit. I used to be the one that's, I'm not going to school, not going. I was terrible, right? There was a pocket of time that I had a school aversion situation, probably bullying because I'm autistic, and I'm like, oh, I'm not the right person. I'm too young. Anyway, I was like, okay, be an adult. And I'm sitting on the other side of this desk, and I'm like, okay. And I just spoke to her from my heart, and I said to her all of my story of my battles at school, how I felt at school, how I got through school, how I didn't get through school, how I had to get from myself through education, and how much easier it made my life. And I didn't think it was getting anywhere. And then I saw a smile from a very rebellious look, you know, like the Wednesday Addams. She was a Wednesday Addams, just like any typical 11, 12-year-old, you know, whatever, lady, what are you talking about? Typical, right? And your mum putting you on the spot like that. But the mum was desperate. I get it. You want your kids to get a good education and be okay. And, but I didn't think that I could offer anything to another family. But we all can, and we all should. Love thy neighbour as thyself. Please give to a child as if it's yours. I want you to pick up that wish list of that child and go, this is my child, and I'm going to honour this list. And they're going to think Santa just came and said your wishes are coming true this year. It might be the only year they have a magical Christmas. Kids don't understand. You can't blame them for that. They have been brainwashed and taught through advertising and all sorts of things, and they do not have... Look at the pressure we feel. Oh, that's a nice car. I could buy one of them. Okay, stop telling me more about it. Toyota only, of course. I don't look at any other car. Oh, the Tesla's kind of... No. Toyota, right? But basically, think about it. We have that... Oh, I've got to resist. That's so cute, but I've got to resist. No, it's cute, but no, I can't buy it. Imagine a child. So please just think of that. And my encouragement is to sacrifice your present for someone else's childhood. You don't need to be witnessing it. I mean, if it's in your own little family group, great. Go for it. Every child deserves a magical Christmas. We've all been a child. Please remember that when you are doing this, and stop thinking about that this kid wants Nike this. Like, yeah, because they're a child. Have you ever been a child and wanted, I want the brand one? They're all the same. All kids go through this. They all deserve to get their wishes. But you do have to, it has to come with a lesson, as in gratitude, appreciation, all the rest of it. But I'm just saying, I think it's sad that people think, oh, well, because you don't like it, because it's not the real thing, because I've made you second class because you're a charity, so I'm just going to buy you less. And I do think that's scummy, actually. I do. I think that you could donate in a different way that's in your budget, like food, right? You know, you could buy the pudding and just put it into churches. They give out parcels all the time. Just go to your local church. What do you need? What are you low on? Do you need puddings? Do you need this? Do you need that? They'll tell you. They'll tell you. But yeah, just rethink. Presents for adults. It's about the kids. And if you are religious, we are all guilty of this. We've lost our way. We need to get back to that. Because it's not about the materialism. And who's benefiting, man? Who's benefiting? Assholes. Woolworths, Cola. Okay, they're benefiting. Not us. Not our economy, really. Because it's going to one corporation. Anyway. Do Christmas anyway, I'm just saying, but that's just Australia's problem, isn't it? The very narrow purchasing from different... the control of corporate. I won't even go there, that's a whole other video. But I'm just saying, definitely think of the children, please. And remember when you hear people say, I want something that's really expensive, yeah, because that's the bar that they've set it at. And you rich ones have done that the most. And then you're judging the poor people for trying to keep up. Hypocrites. Sorry. These things exist. Really, a phone is actually... I don't know if anyone's realised the relative poverty situation, but an actual laptop, a computer, and a phone is essential, a mobile phone. No longer it'd be nice to have a laptop, wouldn't it? You don't have to go into the office and sit at the computer. You could just put it on your lap. Or just pick up the phone in the car. That used to be a luxury. It's not a luxury anymore, guys. It's essential. And let me say it again. Essential. So if you know someone who needs a phone or a laptop, buy them one. Many ways you can help in current days, because guys, there are people out there that can't even afford a laptop. And what happens if you don't have a computer? Lots, guys, lots. A mobile phone? There was a person in Australia that couldn't make a doctor appointment because they didn't have a mobile number. Didn't have a mobile. True story. So, relative poverty is something I want you to look up, because don't be a hypocrite. Life has changed. Things are expensive. I'm not saying you have to go buy some poor child an iPhone. I'm not saying that, but I'm just pointing out life has changed completely. And some people are just not doing good, and it's not their fault. And there is a lot of families that are poor that work very, very hard, and they can't keep up. Whichever way it is, it doesn't matter. Kids deserve a magical Christmas. So I'm going to donate on whatever my budget can do, and fulfill someone's dreams, because to me that's a gift back to me. Kind of feels selfish, really, but I don't need anything. So I just urge everyone to do the same. Same with, like I said, you can contact your local church and ask, are you doing hampers? Great. What are you low on? That's the tip. When I used to do it year by year, we used to pack up the hampers. Sometimes it's good to ask, what are you low in? And they'll tell you. And then you can buy that. Like, I don't know, they might say, like, we need lots of custard or something. You can buy lots of custard, take it in. It doesn't matter what budget you're on, you can contribute somehow. And I know that for me, it's easy to skip Christmas because it's too painful for me now anyway. But it doesn't mean I don't feel the joy of Christmas. I do. It's not black and white, but I prefer quiet contemplation. I prefer quiet gratitude. I prefer to just be patient and wait for my children to come home one day. So that's on my Santa list and my prayer list. Anyway, that's my chat of the day. I just wanted to say it because I'm sick of these rich people going, just work harder. Shut up. Do you, like, read the room. Food's gone through the roof. Healthcare's non-existent or expensive. Then you've got, like, running a car insurance. That went sky high, didn't it? Like, we're paying a lot for insurance. I can't even afford contents insurance, okay? People aren't doing well. Disability made me poor. We went from 6 figures to broke. So anyway, I just want children to have a magical Christmas, and I want us adults to stop. And I know this is a thing of, I'm not going to say I feel as spoiled as my peers as a next gen, because I wasn't. I grew up in a very harsh environment, but watching the spoiling around me of people, just nothing good comes out of that. And I think that this attitude of some people are more deserving than others is becoming quite popular. And guys, I don't know if you're aware, but that kind of attitude is stepping into territory that is dangerous territory. And as a psychology studying person, my biggest concern is I've never in history, and I've done anthropology, I've never seen such family disconnect in my life. And I've never seen societal encouragement of it in my life. So please just look after anyone at Christmas that you see. That's just, but also respect that some of us don't want to celebrate. Some people have had their heart broken too many times, guys. And they're not rejecting joy or Christmas or you. It's just, for some people, it's a very painful time. And the day, or for me, it's that Christmas Eve is how I always have celebrated. So Christmas Eve is it, but it's full of ups and downs. And some of us don't want to be around people in those moments. I mean, I'll have my carers, but you know, like Christmas is not Christmas until my kids are home. So whenever my kids come home, it'll be Christmas, and if they're not home, it's not Christmas. That's just how it is. It's not a bad thing, and I want anyone that's, for whatever reason, I don't know, most of you are probably middle-aged like me, thinking this. But when you've been through it all and you've done the magical Christmases with your children for years and years and years, and even trying to keep it cool when they were adults at home, and you're burnt out, you're exhausted. You don't have to celebrate Christmas. And if you're religious, you just have to make sure you, well, I'm going for the singing probably, but meet Jesus. As in, celebrate his birthday. But you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do Christmas. And even my boys found that hard when they got to adults, as in, we celebrated Christmas when they were adults, but then I said to them a few Christmases, we're just going to chill, we're not going to have a big Christmas. And they're like, what? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. There's too much pressure, guys, at Christmas for it to be always magical. Aim to have a magical Christmas as often as you can, or every now and then, but just know it's not every year. Disability. I think I had a seizure last Christmas Day. Okay? Disability doesn't stop for Christmas. Some people don't get to stop working just because it's Christmas. It's just, we all need to take a reality check. And I feel that my generation, because of my peers being spoiled, I want us ex-gen to step back a bit Come on, what are we doing? We're falling for the marketing of corporate. Seriously, it's embarrassing now. Pull back. Pull back. You don't need it. To have a magical Christmas, you don't need that. There's only certain ingredients you need for a magical Christmas, and you know it. You know what you need and don't need. You know. And you know what your kids do and don't need. You know. So, Christmas can be magical in many ways for many reasons, but I just want more thought behind it because I feel like the pressure has just gotten insane. And please don't put yourself in debt. Even be honest with your children if you can. That's something I regret not doing certain Christmases, is sitting down with my children and saying, right, this. Because you know what? Sometimes kids have to learn to, yes, but this doesn't excuse people being mean to, rich people being mean to poor kids or poor families, but yes, kids do need to learn that not every Christmas is going to be amazing, right? But there's certain age groups for that. You don't want to do that when they're like, I don't know, particularly primary school or something. That's devastating. You know, they're all like really into it at that age, right? But as they get older, they do need to learn. Life is not perfect, and a script, and take the pressure off yourself and get them to understand that life isn't like that, because maybe you'll break that cycle of when they grow up, they won't feel that pressure for their kids as well. Because Christmas, for me, especially me facing a life-limiting condition of 25, 30 years with a heart that's going flashing light, red light, like engine light, the only thing that I ever remember each Christmas is the memories of family time. Just watching my family with the stupid hats on, listening to Pa's laugh, the banter, your uncle's just taking the piss out of you and you just getting them back when you get to teenage years and going, right, that's it, got you back. That's Christmas. Even the fights, the stupid fights about stupid things, come on, like seriously, it's not perfection. And if you're in a situation where you have to pretend it's all perfect, I'm so sorry. That's pressure. Just chill. Yeah, anyway, my family, along the way, it kind of changed with the alcohol a little bit. Alcohol shocking, isn't it? But anyway, I hope that this has helped someone prepare for Christmas, because I don't know, I just wanted to talk about all of those different things because we have to change our perspective. It's pathetic. Like, I'm embarrassed for some of us adults. I'm not going to lie. We need to grow up. And we need to realise what life is really about. And it's not even just about Christmas anymore. I mean, we're living in very challenging times. But when it comes to the children, of course we protect them from those things too, and we give them a magical Christmas. But we need to grow up. We need to step back. And families, stop fighting. I know you're all going to, and you're all going to try and one-up each other, and it's all going to be this big thing. My family does it to me, just don't rise to the bait. Just whatever. If they exclude you, if they're nasty, if they're just, irritable, grumpy, say rude things, pick on you, whatever, just know that doesn't mean it's the truth. It's never the truth. People are just sometimes mean, and sometimes they happen to be family. You don't deserve it. Love you all. And I'll see you in another video. But I hope this has helped you mentally prepare for Christmas, because I just want people to just take that pressure off themselves and their family, because you deserve it. It's meant to be fun, not stress.